The research station Kepler 442 hung in the dark space around a strange world. Dr. Kim Tae-ho stood at the observation deck and looked down at the planet below. Green and blue swirled together on its surface. 3 moons cast silver light across. The land. It looked peaceful from up here. But Tai-ho knew better. "Another dead one," said Commander Veltar as he walked up behind Tae-ho. The alien's 4 arms moved nervously. His purple skin looked darker than usual. "That makes 3 crew members in 2 days." Tae-ho turned to face the commander. Veltar belonged to the Gentari race. They were tall and thin with large black eyes. Usually they stayed calm in any situation. But now Veltar looked scared. "What killed them this time?" Tae-ho asked. "Same thing as before. The creature we brought up from the planet. Subject Alpha." Veltar's voice shook a little. It broke through the containment field again, ripped apart Security Officer Kixalon like paper. Tae-ho nodded slowly. He had seen the bodies from the first 2 attacks. The damage was terrible. Deep claw marks, crushed bones. Whatever this creature was, it had incredible strength. "The security team wants to space it," Veltar continued. "Just open the airlock and push it out into vacuum. Chief Claxton says it's too dangerous to keep aboard." "We can't do that," Tae-ho said firmly. "This creature might be the most important discovery we've ever made. We need to understand it first." Veltar's large eyes blinked rapidly. This was a sign of confusion in his species. "Understand it? Tae-ho, this thing is a killer. It stands 12 feet tall. Its hide deflects our energy weapons. Those claws can cut through metal doors. When it gets angry, those spots on its body glow bright red like warning lights." Tae-ho had seen the creature only once since they brought it aboard 3 days ago. The security team had found it on the planet's surface, apparently unconscious, near some kind of crashed pod. They thought it was dead at first. It looked like nothing they had ever seen before. The creature had a long body covered in dark plates that looked like natural armor. 6 legs supported its weight. 2 powerful arms ended in hands with razor-sharp claws. Its head was large and angular with no visible eyes. Instead, patches of skin across its body could glow in different colors. The science team thought these patches were how it saw the world around it. "Commander?" came a voice over the ship's communication system. "Please report to Laboratory 7 immediately. We have a situation." Veltar and Tae-ho ran through the corridors toward the laboratory section. Other crew members pressed against the walls to let them pass. Tae-ho noticed how scared everyone looked. The Kepler 442 carried scientists and researchers from 12 different alien species. He was the only human aboard. Usually, the crew worked well together despite their differences. Now fear had taken over the station. They reached Laboratory 7 and found chaos. The heavy security door hung in twisted pieces. Sparks flew from damaged wall panels. Emergency lights flashed red throughout the corridor. Chief Security Officer Caxton stood outside the ruined laboratory. His species looked like walking crystals. Right now, his usually clear body showed streaks of angry orange. "It's loose again," he announced. "Broke out 10 minutes ago. Killed another guard." "Where is it now?" Veltar demanded. "Cargo Bay 5. We have it surrounded, but our weapons don't work against its hide. That thing could tear through the hull if it wanted to." Coxton's crystal body flashed brighter orange. "Commander, we need to evacuate the station. Call for a pickup ship and abandon this place." "What about our research?" Tae-ho asked. 2 years of work, all the samples we collected, the data." "Better to lose research than lose our lives," Coxton replied. "This creature isn't natural. Look at the damage it can cause. Nothing should be that strong and that fast." Tae-ho pushed past them and headed toward Cargo Bay 5. Behind him, he heard Veltar calling his name. But something inside Tae-ho needed to see this creature again. He had studied dangerous animals his whole career. There had to be more to this situation. The corridors near Cargo Bay 5 were empty. The crew had evacuated this section when the creature broke free. Emergency barriers blocked most of the passages. But Tae-ho knew the maintenance tunnels. He had explored every part of the station during his 2 years aboard. He crawled through a narrow service tunnel and emerged in an observation room above the cargo bay. Through the thick, transparent aluminum window, he could see down into the large chamber below. Subject Alpha stood in the center of the cargo bay. Its dark armored body reflected the emergency lighting. The patches of skin across its hide glowed bright red. It moved its large head back and forth like it was searching for something. Or someone. Around the edges of the cargo bay, security officers had set up a circle of energy barriers. Their weapons were aimed at the creature, but Tae-ho could see. They were afraid to shoot. Previous attacks had proven that energy blasts just bounced off the creature's natural armor. As Tae-ho watched, something strange happened. The creature stopped moving. Its head tilted upward toward his observation window. Those glowing patches across its body began to change color. The angry red faded to orange, then yellow, then blue. It was looking at him. Somehow, without visible eyes, this creature had found him watching from above. The creature made a sound, not a roar or growl like Tae-ho expected. It was more like a musical tone, low and sad. The glowing patches on its body pulsed in rhythm with the sound. "My God," Tae-ho whispered to himself. "You're not just an animal, are you?" Down in the cargo bay, the creature took a step toward the wall below his observation window. The security officers shouted warnings and raised their weapons, but the creature ignored them. It kept its attention focused on Tae-ho. Those musical tones came again. This time they sounded almost like questions. The creature's body language had changed too. Instead of the aggressive posture from before, it now held itself differently. Its head remained tilted upward. Its arms were held away from its sides in a non-threatening position. Tae-ho pressed his hand against the observation window. Far below, the creature raised one of its own hands toward him. The sharp claws that had killed 3 crew members were carefully folded back against its palm. "You're scared," Tae-ho realized. "You're just as frightened as we are." The observation room door burst open behind him. Commander Veltar rushed in with 2 security guards. "Tae-ho, get away from that window," Veltar ordered. "That thing could break through and kill you." But Tae-ho didn't move. He kept watching the creature below. "Commander, look at its behavior. Look at those light patterns. This isn't random aggression. It's trying to communicate. It killed 3 of our people," Veltar reminded him. "Maybe because it was confused, scared, defending itself." Tae-ho turned to face the commander. "What if we've been wrong about everything? What if this creature isn't a monster at all?" Down in the cargo bay, Subject Alpha continued to watch the observation window. Its musical tones grew softer. The glowing patches on its body now showed a gentle blue color, like moonlight on water, and in that moment, Tae-ho made a decision that would change everything. Tae-ho walked slowly through the empty corridors toward Cargo Bay 5. In his hands, he carried a small tablet computer and a box of art supplies. The security team had told him he was crazy. Commander Veltar had ordered him to stay away, but something deep inside told Tae-ho this was the right thing to do. The creature had not moved from the cargo bay in 6 hours. It sat in the center of the room like it was waiting for something. The security barriers still surrounded it, but the guards had pulled back to a safer distance. Everyone was afraid to get too close. Communications Officer Lirana met Tae-ho at the entrance to the cargo bay. She belonged to a species that looked like tall blue plants with multiple arms. Her kind were known for their ability to learn new languages quickly. "Dr. Tae-ho, this is not wise," she said. Her voice sounded like wind through leaves. "That creature has already proven how dangerous it can be." "Has it tried to break out again?" Tae-ho asked. "No. It just sits there making those musical sounds. My equipment cannot translate them. They do not match any known language pattern. Lirana's flower-like head tilted to one side. But there is something strange. The sounds have rhythm, structure. It might actually be trying to communicate. Teho nodded. That's what I thought too. Will you help me? Help you do what? Talk. To it. Lirana's blue skin turned a darker shade. This showed worry in her species. The commander gave strict orders. No one goes near that creature. The commander isn't here right now, Teho pointed out. And you're the communications expert. If anyone can figure out how to talk to this thing, it's you. After a long moment, Lirana agreed. She led Teho to a control room that overlooked the cargo bay. From here, they could see the creature clearly. It still sat in the same position with its head tilted upward. It knows we're here, Teho said. The glowing patches on the creature's body had changed from blue to a soft green color. Lirana activated the communication system. I can broadcast sound into the cargo bay, but what should we say? We don't know its language. Let's start simple. Teho moved closer to the microphone. Hello, he said clearly into the device. Down in the cargo bay, the creature's head moved. The green lights on its body pulsed brighter. Then it made a sound, a low musical tone that lasted about 3 seconds. It responded, Lirana whispered. It actually responded to your voice. Teho tried again. My name is Teho. He spoke slowly and clearly. The creature made another sound. This time it was higher and had 2 different tones mixed together. The pattern was different from before. It's copying the rhythm of your speech, Lirana observed. Listen to how long each sound lasts. It matches the timing of your words. For the next hour, Teho and the creature exchanged simple sounds. Teho would say something in Korean or English. The creature would respond with musical tones that matched the rhythm and length of his words. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. When Teho said his name, the creature always made the same 2-tone sound. When he said hello, it made a specific 3-note pattern. The creature was learning to associate certain sounds with certain meanings. This is incredible, Lirana said as she recorded everything. This creature has advanced intelligence. It's learning our communication methods in real time. Teho opened his box of art supplies. He took out a large sheet of paper and some colored markers. Let's try something different. He held up the paper to the window so the creature could see it. Then he drew a simple circle. The creature's glowing patches changed from green to bright yellow. Its head moved closer to get a better look. Next, Teho drew a square below the circle. The creature made excited musical sounds. The yellow lights on its body pulsed faster. It understands what you're doing, Lirana said. Those light patterns show curiosity and interest. Teho drew more shapes. A triangle. A star. With each new drawing, the creature responded with different sound patterns. It seemed fascinated by the simple pictures. Then something amazing happened. The creature stood up and moved to the wall directly below their observation window. It raised one of its clawed hands toward the metal surface. The sharp claws extended and began to scratch lines into the wall. What is it doing? Lirana asked. The creature was drawing. Its claws moved carefully across the metal, creating scratches that formed shapes. First a circle, just like Teho had drawn, then a square, then a triangle. It's copying my drawings, Teho breathed. It's showing me that it understands. The creature stepped back from the wall and looked up at them. The glowing patches on its body now showed a warm orange color. It made a series of musical tones that sounded almost like a question. Teho drew a simple picture of himself on the paper. A stick figure with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a round head. He held it up to the window. The creature studied the drawing for a long moment. Then it went back to the wall and began to scratch new lines. This time it drew something different. A larger figure with 6 legs, 2 arms, and an angular head. A picture of itself. My God, Liana whispered. It's drawing a self-portrait. Both figures stood looking at each other through the window, human and creature. Each had drawn a picture, to show the other who they were. Tejo felt tears in his eyes. This was not just an animal. This was a person, a thinking, feeling being who had been trying to communicate all along. The creature made more sounds. The tones were softer now, less urgent. The orange lights on its body pulsed in a slow, steady rhythm. I think it's trying to tell us something, Tejo said. But what? Dr. Yulseth, the station's psychologist, entered the control room behind them. His species looked like walking mushrooms with multiple eyes. I have been monitoring the biometric sensors, he announced. This creature's stress hormones have dropped by 70% since you began interacting with it. What does that mean? Tejo asked. It means the creature was suffering from extreme anxiety before. Now it feels calmer, safer. Yulseth's mushroom cap bobbed up and down. Your presence has a positive effect on its mental state. Tejo looked down at the creature again. It had returned to its sitting position, but kept its head tilted toward their window. The lights on its body showed a peaceful blue-green color. You've been alone, haven't you? Tejo said quietly. Scared and confused. Just like I would be if I was trapped in a strange place with beings I couldn't understand. The creature seemed to hear something in his voice. It made a long, low sound that reminded Tejo of a sad song. The lights on its body dimmed to a soft blue. I need to go down there, Tejo said suddenly. Absolutely not, Liana replied. It's too dangerous. No, it's not. Look at its behavior. Listen to those sounds. This creature isn't trying to hurt anyone. It's trying to connect with us, with me. Tejo thought about his younger brother, Wu Jin, who had died in an accident years ago. Wu Jin had been gentle and curious, always trying to make friends with animals and strangers. Looking at this creature now, Tejo saw the same kind of lost soul that needed companionship. I'm going to call you Wu Jin, he said to the creature, after someone who would have understood you. As if it heard him, the creature's lights brightened to a warm golden color. It made a series of musical tones that almost sounded like contentment. For the first time since being brought aboard the station, Subject Alpha seemed at peace. The alarm bells rang through every corridor of the research station. Red emergency lights flashed in the darkness. Tejo ran toward the engineering section as the floor shook beneath his feet. Something had gone terribly wrong. Report, Commander. Veltar shouted over the noise as crew members rushed past him. Engineer Park, Sora, the only other human on the station, looked up from her control panel. Her face was covered in sweat. Main power core is overloading. The magnetic containment field is failing. If we lose it completely, the core will breach and destroy half the station. How long do we have? Veltar asked. Maybe 20 minutes. 30 if we're lucky. Sora's hands moved quickly across her controls. But the repair systems are offline. Someone would need to go into the core chamber manually to fix the containment field. That's impossible, said Chief Coxton. His crystal body flashed red with alarm. The radiation levels in there would kill anyone in minutes. Tejo thought about Wu Jin down in the cargo bay. Over the past 3 days, he had spent hours talking to the creature through the communication system. They had developed a basic way to share ideas using drawings and sounds. Wu Jin seemed to understand more each day. What about the creature? Tejo suggested. Its natural armor might protect it from the radiation. Are you insane? Coxton demanded. That thing nearly killed 3 of our people. Now you want to let it loose in the most dangerous part of the station? It didn't try to hurt anyone because it was angry, Tejo explained. It was scared and confused, but now we've been communicating. It trusts me. The station shook again. This time the lights went out completely for several seconds before the emergency power kicked in. We don't have time to argue, Commander Veltar decided. If Dr. Taeho thinks the creature can help us, we have to try. It's our only chance. They rushed to Cargo Bay 5. Wu Jin was waiting in his usual spot in the center of the room. When he saw Taeho through the observation window, the lights on his body changed from blue to happy yellow. Taeho activated the communication system. "Hello, Wu Jin." The creature made his familiar greeting sound, two musical tones that meant, "Hello? Wu Jin, we need your help." Taeho spoke slowly and clearly. "The station is in danger. Many people will die if we can't fix it." Wu Jin tilted his large head to one side. This was something he did when he was trying to understand new information. Taeho drew a quick picture on his tablet, a simple drawing of the station with people inside. Then he drew the same station broken apart with people floating in space. Wu Jin's body lights changed from yellow to worried orange. He made a series of urgent sounds. "Yes, that's right. Everyone will die unless we can repair the power core." Taeho drew another picture showing Wu Jin helping to fix something inside the station. "But you can save us. Your natural armor will protect you from the dangerous energy." For a long moment, Wu Jin stared at the drawings. The lights on his body pulsed in different colors as he thought. Then they settled on a steady green color that Taeho had learned meant agreement. Wu Jin made his yes sound. 3 short musical notes. "Lower the security barriers," Taeho told the control room crew. "This is madness," Coxton muttered. But he pressed the controls that deactivated the energy barriers around Wu Jin. The creature stood up to his full 12-foot height, but instead of charging toward the exit like everyone expected, he moved slowly toward the cargo bay door. His body language showed calm purpose, not aggression. Taeho met Wu Jin in the corridor outside the cargo bay. The other crew members stayed far back, ready to run if something went wrong. But Taeho walked right up to the massive creature without fear. Up close, Wu Jin was even more impressive. His dark armor plates reflected the emergency lights. The glowing patches on his body cast blue and green shadows on the walls. His clawed hands could easily tear a person apart, but he kept them folded peacefully at his sides. Taeho reached out and touched one of Wu Jin's armored plates. The surface felt warm and smooth like polished stone. Wu Jin made a soft humming sound that seemed to show pleasure at the contact. "Thank you for trusting me," Taeho said. "Now let's go save everyone." Engineer Sora guided them through the station to the power core chamber. The radiation sensors screamed warnings as they approached. Normal crew members could only get within 50 meters of the core without protective suits. "The containment field generator is in there," Sora explained, pointing through a thick window into a brightly lit chamber. "Those 3 cylindrical units need to be realigned. The control systems are dead, so it has to be done by hand." Wu Jin studied the chamber through the window. His head moved as he examined every detail. Then he looked at the radiation warning signs on the walls. The glowing patches on his body shifted to a thoughtful purple color. "The door will seal behind you," Sora warned. "You'll be trapped inside until the field is stable again. Are you sure you want to do this?" Wu Jin looked at Taeho. His body lights formed a pattern that meant trust in their simple language. Then he made the sound that meant protect. The creature was telling Taeho that he would protect everyone on the station, even if it put himself in danger. The massive door to the core chamber slid open. Brilliant white light poured out along, with waves of deadly radiation. Wu Jin walked calmly into the chamber. The door sealed shut behind him. Through the thick window, they watched Wu Jin work. The radiation that would kill a normal person in minutes seemed to have no effect on his armored body. He moved to the first containment unit and began adjusting its position with careful precision. "Look at that," Sora breathed. "He understands exactly what needs to be done. Those movements are perfect." Wu Jin worked steadily for 15 minutes. His body light stayed calm blue the whole time, showing he was not in distress. One by one, he realigned the 3 containment units exactly as they needed to be positioned. The station's shaking stopped. The emergency lights changed from red to normal white. The power core was stable again. When the chamber door opened, Wu Jin walked out looking no different than when he went in. The deadly radiation had not harmed him at all, but more importantly, he had saved every life on the station. The crew, members who had been terrified of him just days ago, now looked at him with amazement and gratitude. Chief Caxton's crystal body showed colors of shame and respect. "I was wrong about you," he admitted to Wu Jin. "You are not a monster. You are a hero." Wu Jin made a modest sound and looked at Tae-ho. His body lights showed the warm golden color that meant happiness and friendship. As they walked back through the station corridors, other crew members came out to see them pass. No one ran away anymore. Instead, they watched with curiosity and wonder as human and creature walked side by side like old friends. Engineer So-Ra followed behind them, making notes on her tablet. "The way he understood those technical repairs," she said to Tae-ho. "This creature has intelligence far beyond what we imagined, and the bond between you two, it's unlike anything I've ever seen." That night, Tae-ho sat in his quarters thinking about what had happened. Wu Jin had risked his life to save people who had feared and threatened him. The creature had shown courage, intelligence, and compassion that put most humans to shame. But more than that, Wu Jin had done it all because he trusted Tae-ho. Their friendship had grown strong enough that Wu Jin was willing to face any danger to protect the people Tae-ho cared about. From that day forward, everything on the station changed. Wu Jin was no longer kept in the cargo bay like a prisoner. He was given his own quarters and allowed to move freely through the ship. Crew members who had once run from him in terror now greeted him politely in the corridors. And through it all, Wu Jin stayed close to Tae-ho, not because he was forced to, but because he had chosen to. The bond between them had become something deeper than friendship. It was family. 2 weeks after the power core crisis, the research station's sensors detected something incredible on the planet below. Tae-ho stood at the observation deck with Wu Jin beside him, looking down at the green and blue world that had become their second home. "There are more of them," announced Dr. Luxara, the station's medical officer. Her species looked like walking flowers with bright pink petals. At least 50 creatures similar to Wu Jin. They're living in organized groups across the southern continent. Wu Jin's body lights changed from peaceful blue to excited yellow when he heard this news. He made a series of rapid musical sounds that Tae-ho had never heard before. The tones were different from their usual communication. They sounded urgent and hopeful. "He's trying to tell us something important," Tae-ho realized. "Wu Jin, are those your people down there? Your family?" Wu Jin's lights shifted to bright gold. He made the 3-note sound that meant yes, over and over again. Then he moved to the large observation window and pressed one clawed hand against the transparent surface. His whole body was focused on the planet below. Commander Veltar joined them at the observation deck. "The survey teams found what looks like a small city. These creatures have built structures. They're using tools. They even seem to have some kind of agriculture." "They're not animals at all," Tae-ho said quietly. "They're people. A whole civilization that we completely misunderstood. Navigation." Officer Zen Kai, who looked like a giant mantis, approached with his report. "The creatures appear to be highly social. They live in family groups of 8 to 12 individuals. Each group has its own territory, but they cooperate with neighboring groups for larger projects." Wu Jin listened to every word. His head moved back and forth as he followed the conversation. The lights on his body pulsed with different colors as emotions crossed his face. "We need to go down there," Tae-ho decided. "Wu Jin needs to be reunited with his people, and we need to apologize for taking him away from them." Medical Officer Luxara looked worried. Her pink petals drooped slightly. Dr. Teho, I have been studying the biological changes in both you and Wu Jin over the past weeks. The results are very interesting. She activated a holographic display that showed brain scans and chemical analysis. Your body chemistry has changed since you began bonding with Wu Jin. You are producing new types of pheromones. Your brain activity shows patterns I have never seen in humans before. What does that mean? Teho asked. It means you and Wu Jin have formed a biological connection that goes beyond simple friendship. Your species are adapting to communicate with each other on a chemical level. The display changed to show scans of Wu Jin's brain. The changes in Wu Jin are even more dramatic. He has grown new neural pathways specifically for processing human emotional signals. His brain is literally evolving to understand you better. Wu Jin made interested sounds as he looked at the brain scans. Even though he couldn't understand the science, he seemed to recognize that this was important information about their relationship. This level of biological adaptation usually takes thousands of years, Luxara continued. But you two have achieved it in just weeks. It suggests that both human and Wu Jin species are naturally designed for this kind of bonding. 3 days later, Teho and Wu Jin took a shuttle down to the planet's surface. The landing site was chosen carefully, far enough from the creature settlements to avoid causing panic, but close enough for Wu Jin to find his way home. As soon as the shuttle doors opened, Wu Jin's behavior changed completely. His body lights flashed in patterns Teho had never seen before. He made loud, complex musical calls that echoed across the landscape. Then he waited, his head tilted to listen. From the distance came answering calls. Other creatures were responding to Wu Jin's signals. They remember you, Teho said with a smile. Your family is calling back. Wu Jin looked at Teho with what seemed like gratitude. Then he began walking toward the sounds, moving slowly so Teho could keep up. They traveled for 2 hours, through forests and grasslands. The planet was beautiful, with strange trees that had silver leaves and flowers that sang in the wind. Teho could see why Wu Jin's people had made this world their home. Finally, they reached a clearing where several large structures stood. They looked like a cross between buildings and art sculptures, made from shaped metal and living plants, grown together. It was unlike any architecture Teho had ever seen. A group of creatures emerged from the structures. They looked like Wu Jin, but each was slightly different. Some were larger, some smaller. Their armor plates had different patterns and colors. The lights on their bodies created a beautiful display as they communicated with each other. The largest creature stepped forward. She was even taller than Wu Jin, with armor plates that showed silver markings. The lights on her body formed complex patterns that seemed to indicate age and wisdom. Wu Jin approached her slowly. He made soft, respectful sounds. The large creature studied him for a long moment, then made a sound that was clearly welcoming. She reached out with one clawed hand and gently touched Wu Jin's head. That must be their leader, Teho whispered to himself. Like a grandmother or chief. The grandmother. Creature turned her attention to Teho. Her body lights shifted to curious yellow and orange patterns. She made questioning sounds. Wu Jin responded with a long series of musical tones. He was telling his people about Tai-Ho and everything that had happened on the space station. The other creatures listened intently, their body lights changing as they heard the story. When Wu Jin finished his explanation, the grandmother approached Tai-Ho. She was enormous up close, but her movements were gentle and careful. She lowered her great head until she was at eye level with the human. Then she made a sound that Teho recognized. It was the same 3-note pattern that meant thank you in the simple language he and Wu Jin had developed. You're welcome, Teho replied. I'm sorry we took him away from you. We didn't understand that he had a family. The grandmother seemed to understand his tone, even if she couldn't translate the words. She made more sounds, and her body lights showed warm, forgiving colors. Over the next few hours, Tae-ho watched as Wu Jin was welcomed back into his community. The creatures gathered around him, touching him with gentle gestures, making happy musical sounds. It was clear they had missed him greatly. But something interesting happened as the day went on. Wu Jin stayed close to his people, but he kept looking back at Tae-ho. His body lights showed conflicted colors. He was happy to be home, but he was also worried about leaving his human friend. The grandmother noticed this too. She watched the interaction between Wu Jin and Tae-ho with intelligent eyes. Finally, she approached them both and made a complex series of sounds. Other creatures began gathering around them. Soon, the entire community had formed a circle with Tae-ho and Wu Jin at the center. "What's happening?" Tae-ho asked. Wu Jin's body lights showed excitement and joy. He made the sounds that meant family and together and always. Then Tae-ho understood. The grandmother wasn't just welcoming Wu Jin home. She was welcoming Tae-ho into their community too. They recognized the bond between human and creature, and they were accepting both of them as part of their family. The ceremony continued as the sun set over the alien landscape. Each creature in the community came forward to touch Tae-ho gently with their clawed hands. Their lights showed colors of acceptance and friendship. When it was over, Tae-ho found himself sitting beside Wu Jin under the strange silver trees. Both of them looked up at the 3 moons rising in the purple sky. "I never thought I'd find a home so far from Earth," Tae-ho said quietly. Wu Jin made soft, contented sounds. His body lights showed the deep blue color that meant peace and belonging. Around them, the community of Wu Jin's people continued their evening activities. Some tended to their living architecture, helping the plant metal buildings grow in new directions. Others gathered food or cared for their young. It was a complex, intelligent society that humans had almost destroyed through misunderstanding. But now, through the bond between one human and one creature, 2 very different species had found a way to become family. As Tae-ho drifted off to sleep under the alien stars, he felt Wu Jin's massive form settling down beside him. The creatures, body warmth and gentle breathing created a sense of safety and comfort. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, they were home. The peaceful morning on the planet's surface was shattered by the roar of military ships entering the atmosphere. Tae-ho woke to find Wu Jin standing protectively over him, the creature's body lights flashing bright red in alarm. All around them, the community of Wu Jin's people emerged from their living buildings. Their body lights created a sea of warning colors as they looked up at the dark shapes descending from the sky. "Those are Korth Empire vessels," came Commander Veltar's voice through Tae-ho's communication device. "Military class. They're demanding we surrender the station and evacuate the planet immediately." Tae-ho stood up quickly. The Korth were known throughout the galaxy as aggressive conquerors. They enslaved peaceful species and used them for weapons research. If they had found this planet, it meant terrible things for Wu Jin's people. The grandmother creature approached with several other community leaders. Their lights showed fear but also determination. They made urgent sounds to Wu Jin, who responded with equally serious tones. "They're asking what's happening," Tae-ho realized. "They can sense the danger, but they don't understand what kind of threat we're all facing." Through his communicator, Commander Veltar continued his report. "Captain Morden of the Korth fleet is hailing us. He says he wants to negotiate, but I know the Korth. They don't negotiate. They take what they want." Tae-ho activated his device. "Commander, I'm coming back to the station. We need to protect these people." "Negative, Dr. Tae-ho. It's too dangerous. The Korth ships have weapons that could destroy our shuttles before they reach orbit." But Wu Jin was already moving. He understood enough about the situation to know that Tae-ho needed to return to the space station. The creature made sounds to his grandmother, then gently picked up Tai-Ho in his powerful arms. "Wu Jin, what are you doing?" Tai-Ho asked. The creature's body lights showed determination and love. He carried Tai-Ho toward the shuttle landing site, moving faster than any human could run. The other creatures followed, creating a protective formation around them. At the shuttle, Wu Jin set Tai-Ho down carefully. But when Tai-Ho moved toward the ship's entrance, Wu Jin blocked his path. The creature's lights showed stubborn refusal. "You want to come with me?" Tai-Ho understood. "But Wu Jin, it's going to be dangerous up there. The Korth might hurt you." Wu Jin made the sound that meant protect and pointed at Tai-Ho. Then he made the sound that meant together and always. His meaning was clear. Wherever Tai-Ho went, Wu Jin would follow. They were family now, and family protected each other. The flight back to the space station was tense. Through the shuttle's windows, they could see the massive Korth warships surrounding the research station. The alien vessels looked like metal sharks, with weapons bristling from every surface. When they docked, Commander Veltar met them in the shuttle bay. His 4 arms were moving nervously. "Captain Mordun wants to meet with us in 1 hour. He's bringing armed guards to the station." "What does he want?" Tai-Ho asked. "The same thing the Korth always want, resources and test subjects. He's particularly interested in the combat creatures we discovered on the planet." Wu Jin's lights flashed angry red when he heard this. Even without understanding all the words, he could sense the threat to his people. Dr. Luxara approached, them with her medical scanner active. "I've been monitoring Wu Jin's stress levels. They're extremely high. His body is producing combat chemicals I've never seen before." "Combat chemicals?" Tai-Ho asked. "His species appears to have biological weapon systems. When threatened, they can generate powerful electromagnetic pulses from their bodies. The energy output would be enough to disable most electronic systems." Wu Jin made worried sounds. His lights showed conflict between different emotions. He understood that he had abilities that could help protect everyone, but using them might be dangerous. "There's more," Luxara continued. "These combat abilities cause severe psychological trauma to his species. They're naturally peaceful. Using their weapon systems against other living beings goes against their basic nature." An hour later, Captain Mordun arrived at the station with 6 heavily armed Korth soldiers. The Korth looked like armored lizards walking on 2 legs. Their eyes glowed red and their mouths were full of sharp teeth. Captain Mordun studied the assembled crew with cold calculation. "I am claiming this planet and all its resources for the Korth Empire. The native creatures will be relocated to our research facilities where they can be properly studied." "You can't do that," Tai-Ho protested. "They're intelligent beings with their own civilization." "Intelligence makes them more valuable for our purposes," Mordun replied. "We need strong, smart creatures for our biological weapons program." Wu Jin stepped forward. Even though he was larger than the Korth soldiers, they showed no fear. Their weapons were already aimed at him. "Ah, this must be one of the specimens," Mordun said with interest. "Impressive size and apparent armor plating. It will make an excellent test subject." Tai-Ho moved between Wu Jin and the Korth soldiers. "I won't let you hurt him." "You have no choice, human. My ships have this station surrounded. Surrender now and we will allow your crew to leave safely. Resist, and we will take what we want, by force." Commander Veltar tried to negotiate. "Captain Mordun, surely we can reach some kind of agreement that doesn't involve harming innocent creatures." "There are no innocent creatures in war," Mordun snapped. "Only resources to be used, or enemies to be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to decide." After the Korth delegation left, the station's crew gathered in the main conference room. Everyone looked scared and hopeless. The Korth ships were too powerful to fight, and running away would mean abandoning Wu Jin's people to slavery. "We could try to evacuate some of the creatures," suggested Engineer Sora. Get them off the planet before the Korth land in force. There are thousands of them, Zenkai pointed out. We don't have enough ships to save even a small fraction. Tai-Ho looked at Wu Jin, who had been listening quietly to the discussion. The creature's lights showed deep sadness and growing resolve. He understood what was at stake. Suddenly, Wu Jin stood up and made a series of firm, decisive sounds. His body lights shifted to the bright gold color that meant determination and courage. "What is he saying?" Commander Veltar asked. Tai-Ho listened carefully to the musical tones. Over their weeks together, he had learned to understand much of Wu Jin's communication. "He's saying he'll fight. He'll use his abilities to protect his people and us, even if it hurts him." "But the psychological damage," Dr. Luxara warned. "If he uses his combat systems against living beings, it could destroy his peaceful nature permanently." Wu Jin made more sounds. These were softer, sadder. He looked directly at Tai-Ho as he spoke. "He knows the risks," Tai-Ho translated. "But he says some things are worth any sacrifice. His family, his people, and—" Tai-Ho paused as emotion caught in his throat, "and protecting the human who showed him what friendship means." The lights on Wu Jin's body began to change. Instead of the peaceful blues and greens they had grown used to, harsh white light began building beneath his armor plates. The electromagnetic energy was starting to build. Tai-Ho reached out and placed his hand on Wu Jin's arm. "If you're going to do this, we do it together. I won't let you face this alone." Wu Jin's lights softened slightly. The white energy dimmed back to manageable levels. He made the sound that meant together and always. Outside the conference room, alarms began blaring throughout the station. The Korth ships were moving into attack position. Captain Mordun had apparently decided that 10 minutes was long enough to wait. It was time to find out just how far love and loyalty could go when everything they cared about was at stake. The first wave of Korth soldiers blasted through the station's airlocks with military precision. Their energy weapons cut through metal doors like paper. Red emergency lights bathed the corridors in the color of blood as the invasion began. Tai-Ho stood beside Wu Jin in the main corridor, watching the armored lizard warriors advance. The creature's body was building electromagnetic energy, white light pulsing beneath his dark plates like a contained lightning storm. "Remember," Tai-Ho said quietly, "we only hurt them enough to stop them. We're not killers." Wu Jin made a soft sound of agreement. Even preparing for battle, his nature remained gentle. The lights on his body showed pain at what he was about to do. The first group of 6 Korth soldiers rounded the corner and saw them waiting. Captain Mordun's voice crackled through their radio communicators. "Take the creature alive. Kill the human if necessary." The soldiers raised their weapons. Energy blasts filled the air with deadly light. Wu Jin stepped in front of Tai-Ho just as the white energy beneath his plates reached critical levels. He opened his arms wide and released the electromagnetic pulse. The wave of energy hit the Korth soldiers like an invisible wall. Their weapons sparked and died. Their armor systems failed. The soldiers themselves were thrown backward by the pulse, their bodies stunned but not killed. But Tai-Ho could see the cost. Wu Jin's body lights flickered with colors of anguish and confusion. Using violence went against everything in his peaceful nature. The creature was suffering even as he protected his friend. More soldiers came. Wu Jin released another pulse, then another. Each time, the Korth attackers were disabled without permanent harm. But each time, Wu Jin seemed to lose a little more of himself to the necessary violence. "That's enough," Tai-Ho said, putting his hand on Wu Jin's arm. "You've done enough." But the station's communication system crackled to life with urgent reports from other sections. Korth soldiers were attacking on multiple levels. The crew was trapped and outnumbered. Wu Jin made determined sounds and began moving through the station. His electromagnetic abilities had grown stronger with each use. Now he could disable entire groups of soldiers with a single pulse. He moved from corridor to corridor, protecting crew members and clearing escape routes. In the engineering section, he found Park Sora trapped behind an overturned table while 3 Korth soldiers advanced on her position. Wu Jin's pulse knocked out their weapons and armor, leaving them helpless. In the medical bay, he rescued Dr. Luxara and her patients from a squad of soldiers trying to take prisoners. His electromagnetic wave was so precisely controlled that it disabled the Korth equipment without affecting the medical machinery keeping patients alive. Taeho followed Wu Jin throughout the battle, watching his friend save life after life. The creature never killed anyone, never caused unnecessary harm. He fought only to protect, and he protected everyone. But the psychological toll was becoming visible. Wu Jin's body lights now showed permanent streaks of dark purple, the color of deep sadness. He was becoming a warrior when all he wanted to be was a friend. On the command deck, they found Captain Morden himself threatening Commander Veltar with a personal energy weapon. The Korth captain's red eyes blazed with anger as his invasion. "Plans fell apart. Your pet monster has cost me dozens of soldiers," Morden snarled. "But it ends here. Surrender, or I kill your commander." Wu Jin's lights flashed to pure white. The electromagnetic energy building in his body was more powerful than anything he had generated before. One pulse would disable Morden's weapon and end the threat permanently. But Taeho saw something else. Wu Jin was at his breaking point. One more act of violence, even in defense, might push him past the point where his gentle nature could recover. "Wait!" Taeho said, stepping between Wu Jin and the Korth captain. "Captain Morden, look around you. Your invasion has failed. Your soldiers are defeated. Your ships can't help you now because their systems have been disabled by electromagnetic pulses." Morden's weapon wavered slightly. "What are you saying, human?" "I'm saying you have a choice. You can keep fighting a battle you've already lost, or you can leave this system and find easier prey somewhere else." "The Korth Empire does not retreat," Morden growled. "The Korth Empire also doesn't waste resources on unprofitable ventures," Taeho replied. "How will you explain to your superiors that you lost an entire battle fleet to a single creature that your weapons can't touch?" Morden's red eyes narrowed as he considered this. Behind Taeho, Wu Jin was still building energy, ready to strike if the Korth captain chose violence. "Your creature won't always be there to protect you," Morden finally said. "The Empire has a long memory." "And we have something the Empire doesn't," Taeho answered. "We have friends who choose to protect each other, not because they're ordered to, but because they want to." Morden looked at Wu Jin, whose massive form radiated power and determination. Then he looked at the crew members around him, all of whom were willing to fight and die for each other, despite belonging to different species. With a snarl of frustration, the Korth captain lowered his weapon. "This isn't over, human, but today we withdraw." Within an hour, the Korth fleet had left the system. Their disabled soldiers were collected and their ships departed without the prizes they had come to claim. As the all-clear signals sounded throughout the station, Taeho found Wu Jin sitting alone in the observation deck. The creature was staring down at the planet where his people lived in safety. But his body lights showed only the dark purple of deep sadness. "Hey," Taeho said softly as he approached. "Are you okay?" Wu Jin made sounds that meant hurt inside and not same anymore. The violence he had been forced to use had changed something fundamental in his peaceful nature. "I know it hurts," Taeho said, sitting beside his friend. "Fighting goes against who you are. But you know what? You never killed anyone. You never caused more pain than necessary. You stayed true to yourself even when you had to become a warrior." Wu Jin's lights